Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. This is Kathy with Premier Marketing, and on the line with me, I have Jeremiah Tacker from Transamerica. Good morning, Jeremiah. How's your day going?
It's going well, Kathy. How about yourself?
It's going great. I can't believe it's already October 18th. This month is flying by really fast.
The whole year is flying by. Tell me about
Uh,
it.
yeah, a whole year is true. So, everybody, thank you for being able to join with us this morning. We've got some good information to talk about. One of the favorite things I always look for when I'm talking to an agent is when they're asking me for life insurance, does your client want living benefits? And a lot of time they're, I don't know, just show me both options. Please, 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 I can't strongly suggest this enough. Talk to your clients about living benefits. Tell them the need for it. You know, you can go buy cheap insurance any place, anywhere, but when you're talking about living benefits and what they can do for the family and for them, as far as like it's not just a death benefit anymore, they can use it to survive. That's a huge impact on a family. So we've got some really good products here on Transamerica's term plan, the Trendsetter series products, one with living benefits. So please take notes. I strongly suggest you to start writing down clients that you need to go see and give me a call, give Kelly a call. We're here to help you and make sure that you have the information in front of you to help you walk through all these sales with your clients. So Jeremiah, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Kathy, for that introduction. And I agree with everything you said, and I'll probably reiterate a lot of that during my presentation. But first and foremost, I want to not really apologize for the background you see behind me because I'm very blessed. So we are in the process of redoing our, basically putting our basement together. It's unfinished. We are in the process of finishing it. So I wanted you guys to see me though today. I know I've done a couple of these where we've been in the process of this and I haven't turned on my camera because of that. But you know what? I wanted you guys to be able to see me today and interact with me and you know me as it's more than just a picture. So I am turning on my camera today, so bear with the background and just focus on me and the slide in front of you, and let's kick this thing off. So first and foremost, I do want to get started with some house cleaning stuff. So if you do have questions, I think Kathy's monitoring the chat line. I don't think you guys can unmute yourself, but if you have questions, type them in the chat. And Kathy, don't hesitate to interrupt me at any point if you have questions come in. You know, I prefer not to wait till the end, honestly, because then we got to go back and try to, get back into the mode again. If we're already on a slide or already talking about that, go ahead and bring it up because we're already in that mode and we can go right into that. So
Okay.
be sure to be putting those questions in and Kathy will relate those to me and we'll get them answered for you. So secondly, I want to introduce myself. So my name is Jeremiah Tacker. I'm the Regional Vice President over the Heartland region for Transamerica Life Insurance Company, which includes you guys and all the agents nationwide for this particular group. So I'm very happy to be presenting for you guys today. A little bit of background on myself. So I've been with Transamerica for I was actually with Transamerica previously, but I've been in the life insurance industry for almost 16 years, since 2007. So I was with Transamerica to start my career back in 2007. I came on board with them doing some other processing side of things. I worked in new business, customer service, commissions, licensing, all those fun areas, and I learned a ton, and it's helped me throughout my career. It helps me now to know some of the processes, some of the things that go into those individual areas, and just to understand that, to be able to relate that to you guys, right? In 2012, I transitioned to the sales side of things, so I became an internal wholesaler on Transamerica's sales team. I worked with both independent and career agents, so independent agents like yourself, and also career agents that were basically employed by Transamerica. And did kind of the same stuff. I did a lot of product trainings and webinars. Didn't do a whole lot of traveling and stuff, but I did inbound, outbound call. I just helped support the agents on both sides of our business, which again was a great learning experience for me and a great transition. I liked working with the agents. I liked the products so much that in 2013 I became life and health licensed, and the reason for that was to be able to relate more to you guys, to understand, the testing that you went through. But then I started doing part-time sales as well. outside of office hours with Transamerica, and started to hold client meetings and sell products, and again, which helped me relate to you guys to understand what you're going through every day on a daily basis when you're holding client meetings and you're working to try to get apps issued and all that stuff. So it gave me a ton of just information and helped me to relate to what you guys do every day. In 2017, I stepped away from Transamerica, went into full-time sales, which was great. The first 6 months, I exploded because I'd been doing it part-time, putting all my efforts into it. I just exploded in the industry and had a high level of success. With that came me reconnecting with an individual I knew that had a agency of his own, and I stepped into his agency. He was older, on the verge of retirement, kind of a failing agency. To give you a little brief background, I came in, he taught me more of the business side. I helped recruit and revive and bring back his agency, and about a year later he retired, and I took over as sole principal owner of that agency and ran that for about 4 years. And then recently, here in February of this year, stepped away and came back to Transamerica, which I'm excited for. I love what we're doing. I love all this stuff that I get to do with you guys, and I get to share my knowledge, experience, and share some of the great things that Transamerica is doing here. And so I'm proud to bring to you today our trendsetter products. And like Kathy said, I would definitely have a notepad. I always did. When I was an agency owner and we were an independent agency, we had several carriers, so I'm trying to learn all these and trying to know how to help my agents do that. And I took a lot of notes. That was the big thing. I'm going to share a lot of things with you that are going to be helpful today, and I know you're going to want to revert back to them. So definitely have your notepads out taking notes. And also, like Kathy said, I always did this as well. I had numbers 1 through 10, and I tried to have at least 5 was my goal, at the most 10 clients that I could reach out to right after this call to set up sales presentations for the term products that would help them, right? And so that could be clients you've met with in the past. That could be clients you have with meetings coming up. That could be, just things. Maybe you just want to market. Maybe you want to mark down market. Maybe you want to get some mortgage protection leads, or maybe you want to start taking some of our social media e-blasts, and you want to start putting those on your social media pages to introduce to your clients out there in the world of the insurance industry that you're working with term products that are affordable and that can benefit them in more ways than just a death benefit, right? So all those things are things that I wrote down to try to take my hour or so that I had and make that worth my while, right? And that's what I want you guys to do. So, and Kathy's on the same page, which I agree with what she said, and I told you I'd reiterate that. And so getting into that, I want to just share a little bit about some contact information, and then we're going to jump right into the products, guys, because that's the meat and potatoes of what we want to get to today. And we want to make sure we are able to do that. And I'll share with you a lot of the stuff we're going to go over. But I know you have your mentors and your marketers and your uplines and all those folks at Premier, and definitely utilize them. They should be your go-tos, your first contacts. But we do want to make sure that you do know that you can reach out to Transamerica as well. And we want to be those secondary contacts. Again, we're on the same page with Kathy at Premier, and we want to help you grow your business. She's helping you grow wherever, which is great. To help your clients, we're trying to help you with Transamerica business. So that's where you'd contact us, obviously, if you wanted. But again, work with those folks at Premier, including Kathy and her team. And I know they do a phenomenal job and can assist you as well. But here's your secondary contacts. You have myself. That's my cell phone number there. So that's my direct cell phone. You can call or text me there if you want at any point in time. That's my office email, so you can email me there as well. Like I tell everyone, in this role, I do a lot more traveling, and I do a lot more of these webinars. So I'm doing 2 to 3 webinars a day, and if I'm not doing that, I'm out in the field, at conferences or agency visits, whatever it may be. So I may not be as available to you as, say, like Kathy, or say my 2 internals here that I have listed. So I used to be an internal wholesaler. Like I said, we didn't travel, we didn't do a lot of webinars, which they don't. And they give me 2 of them because we are very busy with all the things that we're doing. We are very busy, and it takes 2 people to help out with my region. And I appreciate these 2 guys. They're phenomenal. They're knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. They can help you in a ton of aspects within Transamerica. And so their names are James and Jason. That's their direct office lines and their direct office emails. So you're asking, what can we help you out with? Well, kind of the same things that Kathy and her team can help you out with. You know, we can help you run quotes, illustrations. We can help you with product questions, sales ideas. One thing that we can do that even Kathy and her team can do is help with escalated matters. And so what I mean by that is overall support, but help you out with escalated matters. So we're going to be your direct contacts for sales, marketing, and products, right? That's what we're going to be your direct contacts for and what you want to reach out to us for. Now, inside of Transamerica, we're going to be secondary contacts for things like new business or customer service, where maybe you're not getting answers in a timely manner and you need to have those escalated. Again, you can run that through Kathy and her team. She can get a hold of us if you've gone through the proper channels and they're just not getting timely responses, or you can reach out to us directly. It doesn't matter, but we all want to help you and support you. So those are things we can do from an escalated matter source. But one thing I will say is, if you are going to call us, and I think Kathy and her team are on the same page. If you do call us and want help with illustrations or quotes, if you can have that information in front of you, right? Have your quoting software up, have your illustration software up, because we want to be supporters, but we also want to teach you, right? And an example of that would be like if Kathy and I were competing for the same client, right? And I had an appointment at 10 a.m. in the morning. She had an appointment at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on the same day. If I come in at 10 a.m. and I'm visiting with the client and I can't, maybe I can't answer a few of their questions, or I can't run a quote or an illustration that they want, right? And I got to, say, okay, I'll take all your information. Let me get back to you, and we'll set up a different appointment. So maybe I set up an appointment for, Thursday. It's Tuesday. I set up an appointment for Thursday. And, I call the home office. I get all this stuff, and then Kathy comes in the afternoon, but she can answer all their questions. She can run an illustration or quote for them, and she shows them that she's a knowledgeable professional agent and knows how to do all this stuff. Who do you think they're going to go with, right? Well, they're gonna take Kathy right there. I'm not going to have a chance to get back in on Thursday, because when I call to confirm my appointment, they're going to be like, we already bought insurance, because she was able to do all that stuff. So that's what we want to help you guys do, and that's part of our job. Same with Kathy and her team, is to make sure that you guys are prepared, you're knowledgeable, and you know how to do these things, because that helps you that helps the client have confidence in you. It helps you close more sales, and that's what we want to do, right? So lastly, on this screen, you see the 866 number there. That is the number. If you can't reach the three of us as direct contacts for your sales, marketing, or product support, reach out to the 866 number. That will get you into the team of internal wholesalers, and the first person that's available will be able to take your call and answer your question. So with that, I think you have all the important information. You know some background about me. You know some contact information at Transamerica, as well as now you have your team at Premier as well. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, the Trendsetter Series products. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Trendsetter Super as well, but I'm with Kathy. I only write the LB, and I only did. I stopped selling the basic term when not initially when the LB came out, but the more familiar I got with it, the more familiar I understood how it can protect the clients in more ways than just a death benefit. And I think that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to have to come back to a client that had a heart attack or stroke and couldn't work and now couldn't pay their bills and couldn't pay their life insurance. And they come to me and they're like, what can you do to help? And I'm like, well, I could have offered you an LB product, but I didn't. I didn't want that to be the case, right? So I always tried to sell the LB. Now, I didn't, some clients just don't take it, right? You have to go with what the client wants, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing. The client's always right. You can share with them all the LB information you want, but if they just don't want to go with it, you make a sale, right? You help protect them in one way or another, right? That's the basis of all of our sales, is we want to help protect them in one way or another, but we also want to show them what we can do. We don't want to leave anything off the table where they can come back and then it makes us feel guilty because we didn't offer it or things like that, because I've felt those situations before and I never wanted to do that again the first time I did that, right? So the two products we have, I said that the Trendsetter Super product Again, it's priced very competitively. Same with the LB, because we just did a reprice in July on it. And so it's again, priced very competitively as well. Again, the Trendsetter Super is non-med through 2 million at certain ages, and we'll go over that a couple different times today to make sure you know what the non-med parameters are on that. And then we have our LB. So the Super is just your basic term. That's the one you've always been able to sell, right? That's your death benefit. It does have terminal illness on it, but those are the two things that it gives you. If you pass away, it's going to give your beneficiaries a death benefit. If you have a terminal illness, you'd be able to accelerate, an amount for the terminal, for having the terminal illness acceleration right around there, right? But the LB, so the Trendsetter LB is a separate product. That includes, again, the death benefit and the terminal illness, but it also includes the chronic and critical rider on it as well, which are huge, because, and I'll share with you this a little bit, that those things are happening more and more than people dying. Now with advances in medication and just doctors and what they can do for you now, more people are living through strokes and heart attacks and things like that, but they're not able to maybe perform the same way they used to. So they're losing jobs and they're not able to pay their bills and stuff like that. And that's where the LB can step in. But again, it's non-med through 2 million as well through certain ages. And again, I will take you through those here in a minute. So let's talk about those acceleration riders, right? So again, we have the terminal illness. Again, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you are licensed, or if you are certified by a licensed physician that you're terminally ill and you're expected to pass away within 12 months of that diagnosis, then you can accelerate on this death benefit. And you can do that both on the Super and the LB. The critical and the chronic, what I'm going to talk about next, are only available on the LB. So the critical will cover heart attack, stroke, all the things listed there. I don't have to name them out. And you can accelerate a max of up to 90% of the face amount, or up to 1.5 million. And again, that's not determined by you or the client, that's determined by Transamerica. I'm going to share all that cool information with you here in a minute. Then you have the chronic, right? The chronic is if you're defined as being unable to perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, which those are bathing, continence, dressing, toileting, eating, and transferring without assistance from another person, or if you are severely cognitively impaired for 90 consecutive days or more, again, you can accelerate the death benefit. This is a little bit different. So what you're able to do, or what could happen, is you could potentially get up to 24% of the face amount annually, and we can accelerate 90% of the face amount, or 1.5 million, whichever is less over the lifetime, right? It's max lifetime. Max lifetime we can do. So let's talk about these a little bit, because these are something that I struggled with for a very long time on how to share these with the client to help make sure that they know they're beneficial and how they work, right? So the living benefits, and like I mentioned earlier, when you have heart attacks, when you have strokes, you have cancer, you're severely cognitively impaired, whatever it is, those things, cancer's up percentage-wise, heart attacks are up percentage-wise, strokes up, everything's up percentage-wise. And it used to be that those were high, but also the death rate was high. Well, now it's just those are high and the death rate is low. We're not dying from these things anymore because of the advances in the medical world, right? We are living through a lot of these things. But again, like I mentioned, people aren't the same. They aren't able to do the same things. Some of the jobs they aren't able to do anymore, so they can't go to work. Some, they're not able to take care of themselves. They're not able to do a lot of the things they used to when they have some of these things happen. And so having this death benefit and being able to accelerate it and use it for something that is happening at a higher percentage than the people dying. Because right now, if you look out there, I know there's some credible sources out on Google that you can find, but if you look up term life insurance or basic life insurance, whatever it may be, 2% of people that actually take out like a term super, a basic life insurance for death benefit and terminal illness, 2% of people are actually utilizing that death benefit. Now, 98% of them are outliving that 10, 20, 30-year term, and they're having to convert that potentially into a permanent coverage. So that's the biggest issue right now, is that yes, they're covered for that time, and that's great. They're covered for that time, cheaper for a higher death benefit, and converting it saves them a little bit of money. It's still pretty expensive to convert it, but they do save some things when they do, and I'll talk about that here at the end. But the LB is going to help them, in a majority more of times. Like there's like 48%. I think it's like 48% of people are having heart attacks and living. It's probably actually higher than that right now. And strokes the same way. Cancer is even higher. Cancer's all over the place, which is, I wish somebody would find a cure for cancer. That would be amazing. That person would be the savior, right? I mean, that's just something that's happening all the time. So to just normal people, I mean, my neighbor had it happen to her. She's healthy. She runs. She eats right. Guess what? Hit with cancer. That's crazy, right? That's somebody that I see running every day, that is probably the healthiest person I know, and that now she's diagnosed with cancer. That is absolutely crazy. And that's just the stuff that happens, and why this benefit is so important. Because she didn't die, right? She had cancer. Now, if her life expectancy is changed and affected, she can accelerate, right? So that's the biggest thing. How do we talk to clients about the LB, right? Why is, we share some of those things with them. You can look up Google and look at the percentages and share all the information I just said. But when you talk about how this is paid out and how this works and all those things, so that's where it gets into a little bit of detail as well, which I'm going to share with you. So how I present this to the client, right? How I bring this up and share with them why this is important for them to have, and it is the things I mentioned to you. But then come questions like, well, Jeremiah, what do I get if I have a heart attack at this age and blah blah? Well, I can openly tell them that I don't know. Like I can say, Kathy, if you ask me that question, I don't know how much you're going to get. But I do know that it is based off life expectancy and severity of illness, right? That is what this is based off of. So if you have a heart attack and it's severe, right? It's a top line severe. So it goes off of mild, moderate, and severe. So those are the implications for the severity of the illness. Is mild, moderate, severe. And then you have your life expectancy. So if you have a severe heart attack and it lowers your life expectancy, there's going to be a higher payout from Transamerica, right? That's what it's used for. It's used so you can utilize it while you're still living, right? To take care of things for your family. But if it's a less severe and your life expectancy doesn't change, then there's probably a chance you're going to get a lower payout, right? Because your life expectancy didn't change that much. It wasn't as severe, probably didn't implicate a lot of hospital visits, things like that, or surgeries maybe. There's not a lot of stuff for you to pay for, but you did have something happen to you, so you can accelerate, right? So you have that. That's how we're going to determine this, and that's how you can tell the client, because I can openly tell them that I don't know, but it is based on severity of illness and life expectancy. And Kathy may come back, well, you don't know, what kind of agent are you, right? So I say, well, I am the kind of agent that can put this into a little bit of perspective for you. So you can treat this kind of like a homeowner's insurance, right? So I would say, Kathy, you have homeowners, we're in your home, or I can see, we're on video and I can see your home. Like, you have a beautiful home, Kathy. And I'm sure you insure that home with homeowners insurance, correct? And Kathy would probably be like, yes. Like, that's good. I'm glad you did that. But Kathy, if you have a fire or flood in your home, do you know how much the insurance company is going to pay you? Well, no, I just, okay. So that's what I'm telling you. You went to your insurance agent for your homeowner's insurance, and you asked them, if you have a fire or flood in your home, how much you're going to get paid. What's he going to say? I don't know, right? That's the same thing I'm saying. So don't treat me different than you would treat him, right? I mean, and this is not, I'm not, I don't want to say all these things to the agent, right? But this are the client, but these are what I'm thinking, right? You gotta word those a little bit better. I'm just shooting things from the hip today. But you don't want them to treat you any different than you would treat that agent, right? So you say, well, this is the same as your homeowner's insurance, Kathy. If you have a fire or flood, you wouldn't know. But what's going to happen when you do have that fire or flood? Well, you're going to call your insurance company. They're going to send out somebody to assess the damage that happened. They're going to go back and they're going to calculate everything up, and then they're going to offer you an amount, right? That's the exact same thing we're doing with this. What we're going to do is when you file a claim because you had a heart attack or stroke, you had cancer, whatever, you're going to file a claim. What we're going to do is reach out to the doctor. We're going to get all that information from the doctor. Whatever you went through for this issue, we're going to grab from the doctor. And we have a physician on staff that reviews all the information, right? And they determine whether it's a mild, moderate, or severe issue that you had. And they determine, if that's going to affect the life expectancy, right? And then we shoot that over to our actuaries, and they do all the calculations to decide how much money that client's going to receive. That's how it works. It's the same as your homeowner's insurance. It's the exact same thing we do with this stuff. So you can straight up tell them, I don't know, but it's based off of this, and this is how it works. So what happens when you do have a benefit like this? Okay, well, let's say that Kathy took out $1.5 million policy. Or yes, she had 1.5 million she took out with me, and she was 28 when she took it out. Now she's 38. I want to set the table here for what we're doing. She's 28 when she took it out. She's 38 now. She calls me and she says, Jeremiah, I had a heart attack. All right, Kathy, glad to hear everything's okay. Glad you're still living, all that stuff. Let's go ahead and we need to file a claim to Transamerica. So we file that, we throw that in. Transamerica does their deal, and they determine that Kathy could receive up to $500,000 on this claim, right? So she has the option there at that point. So she has the option now at this point on that claim to take the full 500 or take a partial. Whatever she needs up to 500,000, she can take, right? So once she takes something and that claim closes, so let's say she took a partial at 250 and we closed the claim out, she can't come back and ask for the other 250 that we were offering her, right? She can't come back and do that. That claim is closed. She took the amount. We're done with that claim. Now, in this situation, we're done with that claim, but now Kathy has $1.25 million left in life insurance, right? So we pay her out, and the cool thing about this is we send a check to Kathy, the owner of the policy, and she gets to use it however she wants, right? She can use it to buy an island, buy a new car, pay off medical bills, take a trip, buy a house, whatever. She could use it for whatever she wants. She can go throw it in the street if she wants. We don't really care. There isn't any obligation for her to hold that to any certain thing, right? So she can use that for whatever she wants. But now Kathy has $1.25 million left in a policy. So we say, Kathy, you take this benefit and terminate the policy and no more premiums will be due? Or do you want to keep the 1.25 million in force? And so Kathy will make a decision. She says she wants to keep it in force. So now she has $1.25 million still in life insurance, and she received $250,000. So what we do now is we would go back to Kathy at age 28 and say, Kathy, at age 28 at 1.25 million, this would be the premium. So this is going to be your new premium that you would pay on this policy. And then now going forward, if Kathy has any additional issues from a chronic, critical, or terminal illness perspective, she can file another claim and again, take from the death benefit for another claim. She just can't take, again, once she closes one claim out, she can't go back and ask for more on that specific claim, but she can keep the life insurance in force and take more claims down the road until the death benefit is gone. Well, until 90% of the death benefit is gone, right? Or if it's terminal illness, we would give all 100% if you wanted. So, so that is how I kind of go through the conversation of explaining one, why the LB is important, why I can't explain how much they're going to get, which actually I will tell you guys, we do have some stuff coming up soon, probably in the next couple of months, early in the next year, where we're going to have a product guide that's going to share with you some examples of payouts that you'll be able to share with the client. So again, these will be hypothetical, but you can share them with the client, right? So we will have those coming forward, and they will be probably legit scenarios. Obviously, we'll leave clients' names and stuff out, but legit scenarios that have happened so that you can share those with your clients. But for now, we don't have that. So that's That's how I go through explaining them, explaining how it's paid out, and explaining, what happens afterwards. I talk a little bit about that, and a lot of that I don't put out up front unless the questions are asked. And trust me, you will get some people that ask those questions. So I don't, Kathy, any questions come out on any of that so far?
None yet. So
Awesome.
if you have questions, please type them in there for us.
Yes, must mean I'm doing a heck of a job, so I appreciate that. Well, these are the two longest things we're going to talk about. The rest of it is going to be pretty quick. So I know I'm a half an hour in, but I'm going to use the full 60 minutes because there's a ton of information for this. So hopefully you guys are sticking around. I see actually more people have joined. So hopefully that's you guys are catching up. But I want to talk about this IPO. So income protection option, or IPO for short. This is a heck of a sales strategy, guys. And I love this. I use this because I had a scenario happen to me, which affected me, not really me, but essentially me and my family, and why this would have been important to help me out. So this income protection option, or IPO, as I'm going to call it, because I don't want to say all that all the time. So IPO, this allows you to spread the death benefit over time, right? So this is big because guess what? People, and me included, I'm not very good with large lump sums of money, and most people aren't, right? Most people have their bills and stuff set up. They know what they're, most people aren't agents. So most people that I'm talking about are people that are working a 9 to 5 and on a salary, but they know what they're getting in a paycheck every month or every 2 weeks or every week or whatever it is, right? They know what they're getting. So they plan. They know their bills. They know when what this paycheck's going to go for. They know what that paycheck's going to go for. You guys are a little different, and I was a little different as an independent agent, where you kind of are at a question mark. I mean, you know how many appointments you have, and you know what you could have by the end of the week, and you assume you're going to have something, but you're not 100% sure. But you have a goal probably of what you need and what you're shooting for, and a sales plan to make you hit that, right? But it doesn't always get that. So you guys are a little bit different in the fact of you can't always plan that this bill is going to be paid with this, or you may have to use a credit, whatever it may be. Trust me, I know the role. I've had to use credit cards before. I have credit card debt and all that stuff. I got that taken care of. But when I was selling, but you have to use those sometimes because sometimes the sales don't always work out. So, but in most people's lives that you're sitting down with are going to have a broken down structure of what bills are used with what paycheck. And most people in those scenarios, when they get 1, 2 million, 10 million, whatever it is, because you read about it all the time, the lottery winners that are broke within 5 to 10 years. It's the same with life insurance when it's just not as available to you as information. But again, the average person that receives a lump sum life insurance is out of that money in probably less, because it's less money than what the lottery would win. In 5 years or less, normally. They're out of that money because people don't understand how to handle it. They're used to the money coming in every week, but when you hand them a lump sum, they see that as, they don't see it as a lump sum. They're like, I got all this money, I want to go spend and buy all these things I ever wanted, but they fail to realize that they're not getting any more, that is a lump sum, right? That is it. So this IPO option sets it up where initial lump sum, 10,000 minimum, and you can do a guaranteed monthly income stream for a minimum of 5 to a maximum of 25 years and $100 minimum. Then a final lump sum for 10,000, right? And this is available at no additional cost. You can include multiple beneficiaries. And the big thing is it can't be modified. It cannot be modified after the death of the owner. Okay, while the owner is still living, they can change it. And there's some intricacies to being able to change that, but there are some ways you can change that, right? But once they pass away, the beneficiaries can't come and say, no, I don't want this IPO crap that he put on this policy or she put on this policy. I want the full lump sum. And we're going to be like, no, it's got to happen this way. This is the way they wanted it. This is the way it's going to happen. So you can make them feel comfortable in knowing that if the owner sets it up that way, the beneficiaries cannot change that. So how this would work in a scenario. Well, let's a scenario. So we have me. I'll just say I'm the person that passed away, right? And Ann was my spouse, and I have two kids, Jane and Gabe, that are 3 and 5, right? And I have my mother-in-law, Margaret, which I put on this policy. God only knows why, but I'm
Hey,
just kind of gonna. Yes.
hang on a second. We've got a couple questions that popped up, and I want to make sure that
Oh
we're
yeah.
not missing these real quick here. But
Yeah.
one of the questions that popped up is, what if the person lives beyond the 20 or 30-year term? So I'm assuming that's a slide back yet. And then after they took the early payment.
So I'll answer the first question. So what if they live outside out of the 30, let's say the 30-year term? They outlive their term. I'm assuming you're talking with the living benefits. Is that correct?
Hang on. I'm going to ask Edwin real quick here. I'm going to put him on unmute, if I can get that unmuted for him. If I can, to see if he can, and I can't get it to unmute. Okay, he's self-muted, so I was just going to have him talk real quick. Edwin, if you can unmute yourself to ask that question. And yes, he just answered yes. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we have products that you can convert to that have living benefits. So you can carry those living benefits into the permanent policy. So you can carry those into the permanent policy. So those don't have to go away. They can, if you don't want to move them over, but you can put them on to a permanent policy that you convert to. So the LB benefits don't really go away. And yeah, it's just if you outlive that term, you're just converting it to a permanent policy. So what that entails is we're going off of your current age, but if you were a preferred plus, like on the term, which is the best rating you can get with Transamerica, then it doesn't matter how many health issues that you've had during that lifetime of that term. If you convert it, we still give you the preferred plus rating. So like I said, it is a little bit more expensive because you are older and you are getting a permanent policy, but we're giving you that preferred plus rating or whatever rating that you had on the term policy to begin with when you were younger and healthier. And we don't hit you with all the health issues that you may have had. And obviously, with other folks that were in your same position that didn't convert, they're taking out a permanent policy, how the help, they may get a lower rating, which is going to make that policy even more expensive. So you're going to save a little bit of money having that rating be able to transfer from your term to your perm, but we do go off current age, and then it's permanent policy, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive anyway. So hopefully that answers that question. And Kathy, what was the other question that you had?
After they took the early payment.
So what are they, I guess, can they elaborate any more on that? I'm not sure.
Okay, Edwin, if you can let us know what your question is on that. And then I have another question here while we're waiting on that. What about the death of the owner before the insured? So like on your IPO, if the owner passes away, they're the ones that actually control the policy, but then the owner dies before the insured. Can the insured go back and make changes, or is that strictly going to stay the same on the IPO?
There would be an ownership transfer at that point where the insured could become the owner of it, and then yes, make changes to it, correct?
Okay.
But maybe Edwin's typing in, but while he's typing in, I could say if you're meaning if the LB is paid out, like if you take the early payment, yeah, it just drops by whatever amount with fees and all that stuff, premiums and fees and the amount they're paying you. It just takes that amount from the death benefit, and then you move forward with the death benefit that's left over, and you have that choice. Again, like I said, you can either drop the policy altogether at that point and no more premiums due, and you take your money and you're good to go, or you take your money and you continue to have that policy in force with the death benefits left over. And again, you pay for the premium on that death benefit from the age of when it was put in force, initially put in force. So I don't know if that answers your question, Edwin, or we had any more detail provided to us.
I think that answered that. Edwin, I know you're trying to unmute yourself. You said you don't have a mic. You must be just on your computer.
Yeah, go ahead and continue to type in questions. So we're fine.
Okay, this is good. So Edwin, we can always reach out to you after this to go make sure we're answering your question, if that's okay.
Definitely. Great questions, Edwin. I appreciate the interactiveness with you. So sorry we can't get you on the mic, but I'm glad you're typing stuff in. So yeah, anybody else that has questions, please let me know. But let's move forward on the IPO. So the IPO, again, like I said, a lot of people aren't good with the lump sums, right? And it could be you, definitely me. I'm not, if somebody handed me 10 million, I would probably, it'd be just a whirlwind day for me. I'd have a great time, and probably by the end of the week, I would need a loan. So, but this helps. This helps the family. This helps the husband or the wife know that their family's taken care of, right? So, in the fact that they can't handle that, what you can do is set it up like I did for my wife Ann in this scenario. I gave her a $50,000 lump sum, and your clients will probably talk about this, right? If 50,000, that's probably going to be maybe for final burial expenses. It might be to clear off any debt that maybe I would have left behind, any credit cards I had, or things like that, or maybe pay off a car or whatever. Just take care of a little bit of debt, or maybe it's just to, it could be to, if Ann doesn't work. So in this scenario, Ann doesn't work, right? So Ann's not working. I am the sole. I bring in all the money to the household. This might be, hey, for burial expenses and to give some money to Ann to support the family while she's looking for a job, because she may have to start working. But with a monthly income, Ann wouldn't have to do that because you could set that up. So in this scenario, I bring in $2,500 a month into the family. Like that's my contribution to the family. And as a stay-at-home mom, she takes care of our 3- and 5-year-old, gets them to school, all that fun stuff, right? So I bring in all the money. I bring in $2,500 into the family a month. So I have distributed that in monthly income. Now, even though I've passed away, Ann is going to receive a check every month for $2,500, just like I was still living and going to work and bringing in a paycheck for the next 15 years. So guess what? Ann doesn't have to change her lifestyle. She doesn't have to go back to work if she doesn't want to. She has enough money at $2,500 that I was bringing in already, and we were living very comfortably off of. She's still receiving that every month, like I was still living for the next 15 years. For the next 15 years, Ann doesn't have to change lifestyle. Now, again, the kids are going to get older, going to get more expensive. So Ann may eventually have to go back to work, right? And she can do that in time. But right now, the kids are 3 and 5. Let them grow up a little bit. They're not any more expensive than they were when I passed away, right? So she can do that. She can have some time to grieve and have some time to get the kids, all of them, in school, and then maybe decide to go back to work and still have the $2,500 coming in, but bring in her own money. Now everybody is living a better lifestyle than even when I was alive, right? Because I'm still bringing in the $2,500 plus the money that Ann bringing in when she goes back to work, if she does. Right, so my family's living a better lifestyle than when I was alive, which is all that I could ever ask for, right? With giving them life insurance and providing it this way. But let's say that Ann did go back to work right away, right? And we see there we're leaving $500 a month to each child. Do you know what $500 a month over 15 years is? That's $90,000. Can you imagine after 15 years when my children, here that are 3 and 5, are 18 and 20, that I could say, my wife Ann could say to them, your father passed, when he passed away, he had this life insurance, and now you have $90,000 to utilize. How powerful is that? That is such a big thing for you to be able to provide to your clients. Is you could give those kids $90,000 when they retire, or when they graduate high school, if you wanted, at 18 and 20. They could use that for so many things: down payment on a house, pay off school loans, buy a car, get married, whatever. They have a lot of money to start a lifestyle out in the right way with little debt, right? And again, you're leaving $25,000 to them as well. So if Ann doesn't go back to work and she utilizes a full $25,000 to help that family grow, or help your family grow and continue to live the same lifestyle, then you still get $25,000 at the end of 15 years. So at age 18 and 20, when Jane and Gabe are that old, they're going to get $25,000 no matter what. And now this is important to me because, again, my father passed away when I was 8 years old. Now, fortunately for us, he had life insurance. But again, like I said, by the time I was 18, now I had 2 younger brothers and a younger sister. By the time I was 18 years old, the life insurance was gone. There was no life insurance left for my father's passing away. And it's not any fault of my mom. It's not any fault of my family. It's just the way we're wired. We use the money, and we probably use it in more ways than we shouldn't have to create a better lifestyle for us instead of just living the same lifestyle that we could have. But either way, it was gone in 10 years. My mom, my two brothers, and my sister had to move out of our home and rent a home in town. We lived on a beautiful acreage, great house. They had to move out of that house, and they had to live in a rented home in town until my brothers graduated, until my sister graduated, and then my mom moved on from there. But the fact is, it only made it 10 years, right? And this is the way you can help carry that into a longer period of time. And then you have down here, so you see you have the initial face amount. So this is the other great thing about this rider, or about this sales strategy, is we underwrote me for $573,000. So I was only paying premium on $573,296 worth of life insurance. But due to this payout, my family received a total of $665,000. And that's only happening because of the time frame that we can stretch that death benefit out. That we can pay you out actually more than you were underwritten for and you were actually paying premium for. And the farther that you go out, you can go out 25 years a monthly income. The farther you go out, the larger that spread comes from what you're underwritten for and what you're paying on to what we actually pay out to the family. So, two big things I wanted to.
I just want to say,
Kathy?
I love this idea right here. We have so many agents call in and talk to us. They apply for, $1 million or 750, and they get rated and they can't afford it. They want us to back that off. This would be a huge opportunity for them, wouldn't it? Be able to do this for them and show them they can still, in the end, get the full payment structure with a lower death benefit in the beginning.
Definitely, yeah, they can potentially they could, depending on it is going to it is going to be determined on how long that they spread it out. But so 750 they could get in a larger in a stretch payout for a little bit cheaper because of the initial face amount issue or thing that we're doing here. But yeah, it still would have to be affordable for them, right? So they still would have to be able to afford that initial face amount that we're underwriting them for, but they may not have to drop it down as far, right? And I think that's what you're getting at, which is again a beneficial idea for them as well. So again, I love it too. I'm right with Kathy. I love it too because of the fact that it would have helped my family out, I think. So all right, so I think I have about 11 minutes left, so I may run over. I'm hoping not, but I'm going to try to jump through a lot of this stuff really quick because some of this stuff you're going to view a lot of this stuff in the product guide. So to go through this stuff, Trendsetter Super, we have 100,000 to 2 million, 18 to 45 is non-med, 100,000 to 1 million, 46 to 55. So you can get people up to 55 can get up to $1 million in coverage for non-med, and people up to age 45 can get up to 2 million non-med. LB is a little bit different. It's 100,000 to 249,999. That's 18 to 60. And preferred non-smoker is not available, so you'd have to go below that, which is standard or below, to get that as non-med. But if you're going with all risk classes, you would be 250 to 2 million, 18 to 45, and 250 to 1 million, 46 to 55. And then we do have point of sale. So anything from 25,000, which is the minimum, to 99,999 on both the LB and the Super at standard risk class is point of sale. So that means you're getting a decision in the home within minutes. These other ones will come 24 to 40 hours later as non-med. Again, we have to go through the medical background, prescription drug check, all that stuff. So again, with the point of sale, that's instant. With these, there still could be underwriting that's needed, right? So we could ask for an APS, we could ask for a full paramedic. Just because it's inside the non-med parameters doesn't mean that you're guaranteed non-med. If the client has some red flags that pop up in those prescription drug checks and medical background, and we need to ask for more information, you may need to get that. So I want to make you aware of that it isn't something that we try to do. Again, it doesn't happen very often. It's a small percentage of time, but it can happen. And it's for those reasons. Again, the underwriter wants to get this policy off their desk and issued and get your client covered as fast as you do, right? And the more work they give you to do as far as getting an APS and all that stuff, or paramed, again, they have it coming back to them once they receive it back because they have to review it, right? So it's not it's adding work to their plate as well as yours. So don't think that's the case, that they want to add work to your plate. It's just that we saw some red flags. We need to get some additional information to give the client the best risk class rating available. So again, it doesn't happen very often, but I want to make sure you're aware of it, and you make sure your clients are aware of that too, that it could happen in that way. For your information, here's things that can trigger more underwriting. Again, a lot of these things aren't going to trigger like an APS or full paramed, like alcohol abuse or even diabetes. A lot of it is just an additional form that's needed. Things like heart attack or cancer or coronary heart mites, you might need additional underwriting, or might need an APS or a full paramed, things like that. So just be aware these are some of the things that could trigger a request for more underwriting. For cases, so you no longer have to order exams. The underwriter is going to order the exam for you, and you're going to get email updates when that exam is ordered, scheduling of it, cancellations of it, if it's completed. You're also going to get contact information for the office that's doing it. And why is that important? Because I know that a lot of clients don't answer numbers they don't know, right? So when they're calling to schedule this and the client doesn't answer because they don't know the number, that falls on you, because we do give you the office contact information. I would highly suggest that you give that to the client and say, here's the number that's going to be calling you. If it calls you, please pick up. That is for the exam that needs to be completed. And you're going to get emails, and you can simply reply to those emails, and that will, for follow-up on those. Here's some more point of sale breakdown. So we talked about this point of sale. Standard risk class, again, just break it down a little bit more with the super. 18 to 60 is 25,000 to 99,999, and you have 61 to 70 at 25,000 to 50,000. The LB is 18 to 60, 25,000 to 99,999, and 18 to 60, 100,000 at 249. That's standard, but they can get preferred if they do the exam. So that is a little bit more breakdown on the point of sale decision. Here's our rates. Again, these are our term super rates, because when this was created, we were going through a reprice of the LB, so they didn't put the LB out here. I assume now that the LB has been repriced and everything, with the new product guide coming out for the term, we will have a new slide deck coming out early next year. So I'll make sure to get with Kathy, and we make sure we get that information to you guys, or do another webinar. But as you can see, guys, we're not up against the big carriers like Mutual of Omaha. I mean, we are, but they're not even on this slide in the top 10 carriers. So Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, I don't think is on here. North American is, but towards the very bottom. You have other ones like National Life Group is not on here. So guys, looking at, I mean, we're beating people like Banner. Banner is not even close to us in the insurance world. I mean, their rating is a lot lower than ours. We have a lot better rating, but look at that, we're the top rate. I'm not saying anything bad against Banner. I'm just saying that when they're a B-rated carrier and we're an A+ rated carrier, and we can get a better price rate than them, that says a lot for what Transamerica is doing, right? It's not bad talking any of these. I'm just saying we are the cheapest out there. Again, this is Trendsetter Super. I will show you some rates for the Trendsetter LB if you guys want to stay on here. I do have 5 minutes left though. So that's with the preferred plus 10-year term, $500,000. Here's with the preferred plus 20-year term, $1 million. And see, we fall a penny more than Banner on this one, right? So a penny more. Otherwise, we're the top rate amongst the individuals that we are looking at. And you notice these, that's 30-year-old, 55. Really where your target market is going to be, like Kathy said, millennials. This is going to be where because millennials are the biggest need for this, right? They have the most debt. They have kids. They have everything that applies to having the highest amount of life insurance coverage. Well, what can you get for the highest amount of life insurance for the cheapest cost? Term. Term it's mortgage protection. All term is considered mortgage protection. It's made for millennials, or those people ranging in the ages of 18 to 35 or 18 to 40, right? It's made, I mean, it's there for those people that are older than that, right? But it's made market is those millennials, 18 to 35 or 18 to just below 40, right there. Because you can get $1 million of coverage, like shows here, for $30 a month. That's pretty cheap. Compared to all the other bills that they have, that's pretty cheap for $1 million in coverage, right? So that's why this is big for millennials, and why it's mortgage protection, guys. Term was created to help people cover their mortgage if they pass away early. Now it's expanded, now obviously with the LB and things like that with living benefits, but it's still there to help their mortgage. Plus, the clients have other debt, car debt, credit card debt, all these other things, right? That they don't want to leave behind to their family and have them have to take care of. They want to have life insurance take care of it. So on top of mortgage protection, it's all debt. So mortgage protection plus all debt is what they're trying to cover. And the clients between 18 and 35 have the most, right? You can even go up to 40. And that's why it's so important for millennials to have this, and we're free to promote it to them. So our term quote tool. So we have a quote tool that you can utilize from your phone. So you guys can take that, lifesales.transamerica.com. You can put it in Safari or Google on your phone, open it up, and then you can, if you have an iPhone like I do, and I don't know how Samsung works, but if you have an iPhone, you can save it to your home screen. What I did is I actually created a Transamerica folder for those of you that know how to do that on your iPhone. And I saved the quoting tool to my iPhone, and I drug that into the Transamerica folder. Now I know when I get a phone call and I'm on the road or I'm traveling at an event and I don't have my laptop open, I can break out my phone and I can quote the term. It's available 24/7. It's mobile enabled. There's no login for it. And I can also email the quote and brochure to my prospects. So I can do that right there from my phone. The only thing I can't do on my phone that I can do from like a laptop is I can't input riders. I can just quote the basic term. I can do the LB and the term, but I can't quote like a waiver of premium rider or anything like that. I can't quote those riders on the phone app. Like I said, ways to use the term. Again, I mentioned mortgage protection. That's the biggest one. There's also key employee and business buy-sell agreement. Those are more advanced markets type of stuff. But guess what? For those of you that don't know, we have an advanced markets team, and you have access to them. So you can contact Kathy, you can contact me or my team, and we can connect you with the people on the advanced markets team, and they can walk you through all the things that entail working on a key employee strategy or a business buy-sell agreement or any advanced market strategy that you're working with a term, with an IUL, with anything else. With any of our products, they can help assist you with that. For those of you that don't know too, just while I'm at it, I can throw in, we have large case units. So for those of you that are doing $5 million policies and above or have those, we have a large case unit of specific individuals that handle large cases that can help you with those. Same with foreign national. If you have clients that you're working with that are foreign national, we have a team that can help you with that. And the reason I say we have teams for those is because some of these things entail like additional forms, or we need tax things, or we need this, or we need that, or you need to, and these are high profile clients, so you don't want to mess with their time. You don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing, and these teams can help you to be set up to know exactly what you're doing, exactly what you need, so you're only going to them once, so you can get the information in a timely manner and get it back into us so we can get it done for them, right? And that's how you want to treat those clients. I mean, you want to treat every client that way, but for those high profile ones, definitely they're on a more stricter schedule, and it's harder to find time with them, and you want to make sure you get things done, in a timely manner for them. Talked about conversions already. We will be adding additional products and more conversion products going into next year and beyond in 2024 and 2025. But right now, if your term has been enforced for 5 years or less, you can convert to 2 products. We have the lifetime whole life, and we have the FFIUL product. If your term's been enforced for more than 5 years, you can convert to only our lifetime whole life product. So just want to share that with you. A couple quick things. I know I'm over, Kathy, I might go over a few minutes here, but I do want to share some things. This is our expanded non-medical flyer that we have. It just explains to you, the non-medical limits. Again, this is something that you can open up on your computer or open up on your phone and save to your phone, right? So you could have this on your phone in the Transamerica, but in the Transamerica folder, but it shares with you just the non-med limits. Also, here's more information on our IPO. Talks about why IPO, the creative solution that it gives you, protection in terms of why it protects you and how it works for you and how it works overall. 2-page flyer there. I did want to get into our secure Transamerica site real quick because it shows you how to get to the new software. So let me try to remember my password. I believe this is it. So this website, it's secure.transamerica.com. This should be the website that you're using going forward. I know a lot of you use maybe ANI and other things. Look, ANI is in here already. The reason you want to use this secure.transamerica.com website is because it gives you everything that you need, every portal, all the e-apps, the illustration software. If you want to download and order sales material, gives you all that right here in one page. You don't have to memorize, right here, 7 different login or 7 different internet sites or certain sites to go to. Now you still have to log into each of these separately. So it just saves you from having to memorize all the sites. It puts everything so you don't forget what you have access to. It's all in here, but you will still have to log into these. But if you hit, this is a Transamerica Life Illustrator. If you can launch this, which will open it right here, or you can download it to your computer. But when you do that, it brings up this. This is our new Trendsetter, our new term quoting software for the computer. Again, this isn't going to be the same as your one on your phone, but this is the one you can do from your computer. And again, you just put the information in. You policy designing. You put the, do you want to solve for premium or do you want to solve for death benefit? You can solve for either one. If you're solving for premium, death benefit in. If you're solving for death benefit, you put the premium they want to pay in the premium mode they want to pay it. And then level term. And then you can add riders in. Again, it's a LB, so these are all built in. You can check yes if you want this to be displayed, and you can check other riders if you want, and it will ask you what the rating or what the benefits are, whatever. You can do income protection on here, so you can set that up if you'd like. And then your output design, so you can calculate, and it comes up like this. Once this runs through, may take a second here. But it runs through like this, and you can go to, I believe, well, this quick view will show you. It's kind of small, but it does show you. Like if you go to the cover page, you can scroll down through all this too. So you can scroll down and see what the premium is. You can see it throughout the years, and it doesn't change. It's guaranteed. Here's the death benefit. All this stuff. You can scroll down through here, and even the save here, that enables e-signatures. So if you save it, you're able to save it and send it over for e-signature. So you can do that e-signature wise. So that is available to you. And you can save this quote and do whatever you need to. But that is the software you can get from there. The software that you can get, where is that? There it is. So let me see, I'm going to bring this up on my other screen. So the software, this is what you're like, hang on here. This is what your software on your phone will look like, just for you guys that maybe want to do that. Here, I'm gonna just load this in here. Come on. So here's what it comes up from your phone. So if you put here's what the one you want to run, lifesales.transamerica.com. You do it from your phone. Again, you just click on Super LB. And it brings up, you can answer all the questions, says run quote, and then you do it. So that's how it comes up from there. So with that, everyone, that is all the information I have. Kathy, are there any other questions regarding this information or anything else that I can share with them?
I've had a couple questions about, is this being recorded? And yes, this will be recorded. It'll take time for our T people to make sure it's all worthy to send out, but we'll make sure we can get it out to everybody that's on the call. And then I was asked about what we can do for a healthy 65-year-old. I will reach out to you on that and help you walk through that with you, so I can help you in the quote on that. That's all for questions. I just want to say you did a really good job going over this. So thank you, Jeremiah, for taking the time to do this and put this together for us. Some of the things that I took away out of here that, I've been working with Premier for over 21 years, so, and been in the insurance business for 22 years. So different things I always like, webinars, because I take away one or two more extra things. I was just taking down extra notes myself after, knowing these products back and forth, little things that I forget to think about, or just additional, topics that you discussed and went on with. So I hope everybody is able to take away one good thing or several different things and options, but start looking at your clients and figure out, is this, maybe where we should be looking at them for, and calling us for support so we can help you run those quotes, and, learn how simple and easy it is to run a term quote from the two options that you gave and showed right there. The IPO is huge. That's something in the back of my mind. I'm going to tell you, I always forget about it, but looking at it again, it's like, I don't know why I always forget about it. It's out of sight, out of mind, because you don't see it on our term engine, but running it here is something so you can actually, you'll be able to do that with, which is huge, huge opportunity for you guys out there. I've seen so many different people end up with $250,000 or $500,000 with life insurance. Within 5 years, it's gone. They spent it. I can't say how they spent it, but it's gone. And the family's still, like you said, needing more income because they did things. I paid off this, and they forgot about their future. So you're protecting the clients and taking care of your family for their future on that. So I really like that.
Definitely. Well, again, I second everything Kathy said, and I just thank you guys for being on. Kathy, I thank you for having me on. Again, I hope for those of you that were on, you were able to take away something from this that helps you in your next sale and helps you grow your business from the term side, and it really helps protect families in one way or another, whether it's the basic term just to give them some protection, whether it's the LB, whether it's using the IPO, whatever it is. I hope you're able to take away from this and help more families, create more sales for yourself, and just expand your business. So thanks again, Kathy. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to Kathy and her team. We're a secondary resource. You have our contact information if needed. The Kathy and her team are great. Utilize them, and we just appreciate the business that you guys do. Hopefully we'll see more, and always look forward to more. And we want to help make that happen. So thank you guys again. Have a blessed day, a blessed week. Thank you, Kathy, and we'll look at just communicating on some future webinars down the road. And I think as Kathy, as we end up, she'll let you know when those are. So thanks again, Kathy.
Thanks, everybody. I do want to add two more things. If you're not asking these questions, make sure you're asking these on every sale. Does your client need a conversion option? Not every carrier has a conversion option or the best conversion option to go to. So please ask that question and ask them about living benefits. Talk about those strongly. Those are two things that you need to be talking with your client. And again, thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you need to get a hold of us here at Premier, the phone number is 800-365-8208. The team extension is 607. If you want me, it's 207. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.